Hey everyone, John here! And I just got back from the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and if you read the reviews, you'd think this would be like the worst movie of all time. And I'm not saying it's got powerful characters, powerful plots, it has none of that, it's pretty surface level. But it is a lot of fun, and one of the most enjoyable parts of it was Fox McCloud. He had a surprising amount of screen time, the character was done really well, the voice was terrific, the dialogue was great for Fox, and there were hints of broader Star Fox things in there. And before the reveal of Fox in the movie, I was actually working on a Star Fox video already. It's been on the back burner until I watched the movies, wanted to be more of a Star Fox kick. But now, it is the time to talk about the thing I've been doing. Now, let me just take you back 15 years. We're going to look at the last 15 years of Star Fox. 15 years ago, in 2011, we got Star Fox 64 3D, a game with utter erasure because it should have been called Lilac Wars 64 3D. We all know this. Or just Lilac Wars 3D. What happened there, Nintendo of Europe? Cowards. But this was a really cool remake, one of the best 3D effects on the entire system. And I played this to absolute death, to the point where it broke my circle pad, and I had to send it in to Nintendo support to fix it. But I loved this. This is one of my favorites in the entire franchise, and a great, great remake. After that, there was a little bit of a lull, and we got Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. And I've been replaying these as well. Zero, I appreciate more than I ever have. And I think it's because, more than ever, I've accepted that this is a first-person game. The thing you see on the TV, that's just to aid you spatially. It's for all range mode, basically, to see what's around you. The core aiming is done on the gamepad, or on the TV if you press the minus button. And it really is all about just using the R-Wing cockpit to aim freely around you. It's Star Fox with gyro. This gets called complicated a lot, and really it's not that complicated. It's just Star Fox, but you can move the cursor around independently, and you can do some really, really cool things. There are some derivative parts, the level design isn't always strong, but I think the best part is the thing that people seem to hate, and that's the control scheme. It's a bit of a misunderstood game, I feel. Not the best in the series, but a pretty great one. And Star Fox Guard? Actually just really good. One of the best uses of the gamepad on the entire console. A great tower defense game. Gave us Grippy Toad. Where would we be without Grippy Toad? But there has since been a massive Star Fox lull, with no core game since Star Fox Zero. Other than Star Fox 2, I guess you can count, on Super Nintendo Classic. But between that, we also got Starlink Battle for Atlas. I didn't pick this up at launch because it was crazy expensive. It was like £90. But then, maybe a year later, it dropped all the way to £5. Because this came out during the Toys to Life decline. When you got Starlink, you also got this, a unique Joy-Con grip. You can slide off the R-Wing, slide out Fox McCloud, and you're left with this just crazy looking Joy-Con grip. So if I were to take the Switch 1 Joy-Con, just slide them in like that, slide in this one, slide in your pilots, which this came with Fox McCloud and also the main character of Starlink, who I've never once put in there. You put that there, and then the plane figure goes on top of the character figure, like that, and that's how you change your ships in this game. I've not bought anything that isn't an R-Wing. And they also got the other cool part where you can take off the weapons as well, and change them on the fly. So, I have no other weapons, but if I wanted to, I could change what side of the ship they're on, and that would be reflected in-game. I think it's cool that this did it all on just one controller, rather than having some kind of like USB hub. There's no need to get up, you can just quickly go, whoop, don't want that anymore, and that's pretty cool. But, of course, came at the point where Skylanders was done, Disney Infinity was done, no one wanted Toys for Life. And Starlink, if it weren't for Star Fox, I think would have been a pretty snoozer game. It's just your typical Ubisoft stuff, really, where it's very similar missions repeated, but the core gimmick is you're in space, and it's kind of like No Man's Sky. You can just fly out of a planet, go to space, and go to another planet. The scale was ambitious, but the thing that I got it for, like most Nintendo fans, was this dude, Fox McCloud. And they've integrated all of Star Fox, being Fox, Peppy, Falco, Slippy, they've integrated all of them pretty seamlessly into the story. So these guys aren't in any other version. There's no R-Wing on the box on PS4 or Xbox One. But in the Switch version, even in just the core Starlink parts of the game, the entire Star Fox crew are just there. They're just moseying around. There's some cutscenes where you can tell it's been altered because the camera just sort of pans through and shows the Fox crew entering and just contributing to the events of the game. But really, there's a side story going on. So they're helping the Starlink crew, but they've also got their own thing going on, which is capturing Wolf. Wolf has come to Atlas. Dang it, Wolf, you're not meant to be here. And so you, as the Star Fox crew, have got to send him back to the Lilas system. Get out of here, Wolf. It's not really explained what Wolf has done. He's a bad guy. Get him out of here. I think a really cool part of Starlink is it explores something that Star Fox has never really tried before, and that's an open world. And honestly, I think Star Fox thrives in its on rails, like those curated, just moment to moment, taking you through these roller coaster levels. That's where it thrives. But being able to take the R-Wing and flying through space, it is cool. It's freeing to be able to do that. So it's not something I'd like to see from a Star Fox game, but in a collaborative spin-off, it's really neat. It's great to hear all this dialogue from the Star Fox crew as well. I think it's a bit dry in parts, though. And you can tell that Fox is really made for one-liners, because when he starts speaking full sentences and talking to NPCs, it doesn't sound quite as cool as it does when it's just this, this space armada.
Okay, I got the Nova, and I think I got us a new friend, too. Hope that's all right.
Really? Guess it doesn't hurt. Well, nice work. See you soon.
Man, you guys have the best snacks.
Hey, stop stuffing your face with that junk or you'll get all sleepy. We gotta be wide awake if we're gonna catch Wolf.
But the voice talent does do a tremendous job, and none more so than Wolf's actor. Oh, listen to this guy.
They just destroyed my outpost. There must have been 50 ships.
Oh, 50 ships?
Yeah. And the worst part is, they're headed to your place on Tundria now.
Good.
Exactly. Glad you, Wait, why is that good again?
Never thought I'd miss the food on Corneria.
According to his IMDb, he's never voiced another video game character other than Wolf. He just decided that this is his magnum opus. He's never going to, get better than Wolf. How can you? So you gotta respect that. And he really does kill it here. In terms of actual character, though, Wolf isn't really like he is in any other game. He's a lot more bloodthirsty. There's no real rivalry here. He just kind of wants to kill the Star Fox team. But it is pretty neat, sort of chasing down his operations and finally having a big dogfight out in space with Wolf. It's a pretty surface level story. It's basically just finding out what Wolf is doing and taking him down. But there's a lot more than that, because there's also Star Fox DLC. So once you've taken down Wolf and you've sent him back home, you can then spend £10 and you get even more Star Fox content. So you can now play as Slippy, as Falco, as Peppy from the options menu. I don't think there was ever a physical figure. And that's the thing with Starlink, is there's all these physical components, but also they're all digital as well. And you can buy them from the eShop. And your vehicles count as lives, so one way to continue is just to buy another vehicle. It's a little bit of a slimy game in that way. But once you buy the Star Fox pack, you get even more missions, where more of Star Wolf have appeared, not just Wolf, and you've got to take them down one by one as different members of the Star Fox team. And everyone's got their own unique power. So Fox's is to call an all-out assault with all the Star Fox members. You've got Slippy, who can force other enemies to attack one specific enemy. You've got Peppy, who's got a big shield. You've got Falco, who's got smart bombs. So it's nice to have a little mix between everybody, and they give everyone their own scenarios to use those abilities. So you very much are forced to use the characters you've bought, and you know what, why not? You spend £10 on this stuff. But again, it's all over pretty quickly. You're mostly just taking down each member of Star Wolf one by one, until you have this all-out assault on all of them in one big battle, where it turns out Wolf is still here. I don't know what he's doing, but you gotta send him back. You gotta send him back. Dang it, Wolf. And then when you finally take them down, they go, well, guess we better return to Corneria. So going back to play Starlink, I think this game is fine. The combat's pretty surface level. I'm sure it would be a lot more complex if I bought more weapons, but I'm not going to do that. But when it comes to the actual game itself, it's quite rinse and repeat in terms of missions. You know, go here, destroy these guys, go to that guy, claim your reward. Go. It's standard Ubisoft affair. But what I've not touched upon yet is Star Fox Grand Prix. They made it real, a Star Fox racing game. You can take your R-Wing and you can go on with these full-on races within Starlink. They said it wasn't true. What are the doubters to say now? This is Star Fox Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Starlink's a game that I am happy I played, if anything because this R-Wing model is actually quite detailed and pretty dang cool. It's not something I'm gonna return to very often. I mean, this playthrough is only my second one since buying it originally, and I stopped straight at the Star Fox content because I don't really have the will to play through all of Starlink. But they did Fox really well, and they allowed it to explore a medium which it's never really seen before. And it's rad. Star Fox should be a bit more experimental in what he does. I wish they'd give Fox more experimental spin-offy games like Star Fox Adventures and this. You know, still give us the core rail shooter in the main game, but explore a bit, you know, to like what ambition can you reach when not being tethered to a classic mindset. But you know, going through the last 15 years of Star Fox, it could have been worse. You know, it's been a derivative time. We haven't had that many games. We've had one true new game of Star Fox Zero. We've had a remake, we've had a spin-off, we've had a collaboration. Definitely not a huge celebration of the franchise, but what was there is good. 64 3D is good. Zero is pretty good. I think Zero's problem is it's not intuitive. It's not anyone's fault that they don't grasp it. It's just, I think you look at that game and you want to look at the TV when really you're meant to be looking at the cockpit like 99% of the time. The TV's only really there for those occasions where you need that little bit more of understanding about where you are in a third-person perspective, which isn't really needed most of the time. And then Guard, I think it's just genuinely great, and Starlink, pretty cool. So I am feeling good about Star Fox right now. Starlink was really fun to re-explore, and I'm glad I have that figure of an R-Wing, even if I'm rarely, if ever, going to play this game again. But whatever comes next, after this big movie where Fox McCloud is one of the coolest and best characters on the screen, I am feeling good. We're probably going to get a Star Fox movie, we're probably going to get a Star Fox game, and I am happy. I'm happy. Also, I think with Switch 2, we're starting to see them not necessarily hit upon the usual checklists, because I think they view Switch 1 and Switch 2 as kind of one library combined. So we're getting some more dormant franchises come back, like Donkey Kong and Kirby Air Riders and Star Fox. They're not really doing like, here is 3D Mario, we've got to get a Zelda, we've got to get a Smash Brothers. That stuff's probably coming, but it's in less of an urgent need because it's part of the Switch 1 library already. And so I think they feel more of a need to tick off stuff that we didn't do on Switch 1, which is really exciting. And of course that means we're gonna get, say it with me, Golden Sun. We all said it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you re-experienced Starlink at all after the Star Fox hype, and what did you think about it? Catch you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.